Hi everyone, welcome to another session of the Facket Hour. Definitely not to be mispronounced. We're just waiting for everyone to jump on. There's quite a few people that are eager to attend this session, so we'll just give it a few more moments until those attendees join. You may notice that we've improved our camera for these sessions, which is probably a bad thing now that I see the reflection of my own face. So I'm definitely suffering from the shutdown and I'm eager to get to a barber soon. So apologies that you'll have to put up with my face for the next hour, but hopefully we'll be going through quite a few exciting developments. Hi, Michael, thanks for the hello. And hello to everyone else as well. I hope everyone is holding tight in relation to this shutdown period, especially for those in New South Wales and across the country now. For those of you attending from the United States, hello to you as well. And the good news is hopefully it looks like towards the end of this year we can sort of get out and about a little bit more with how the trajectory is going. So fingers crossed. Especially for my wife who's at home with 4 kids. She's 2 steps away from skydiving off the balcony soon. So let's hope that all gets better soon. All right. So I think quite a few have joined in already. What I'll do is I'll start the session, and as people sort of come on, they'll sort of tune on in. Just for those of you that may not have seen me before, my name's Timothy Cocaro. I'm the founder of Can I Build? Can I Build is a client-facing sales application tool which helps you sell any type of build, be it a house, a pool, a shed, a granny flat, etc. So in today's session, there's quite a few things that we're going to be covering. And probably the main one is double story. It's a recent feature that we've released and we're very eager to show you all how that works. And we'll be touching on quite a few other bits and pieces. We'll be touching on the Greenfield Housing Code and a few other sort of developments that we've done, and as well as some feedback in terms of some questions that we've been receiving. Now, what I'll do is I'll definitely share my screen now and start running through a typical session. No prizes on which address I'll go to showcase these new developments. But again, hello to all and thank you for joining this session, and let's get things kicked off. Brilliant. So for those of you that may be joining for the very first time, welcome to Can I Build, and thank you for joining this presentation. I thought I'll start, instead of over this Sydney CBD like I usually do, I'll start with just showing an airplane, just to remind ourselves that hopefully we'll be on one and traveling soon and taking holidays and the rest of it, because we all know that we've had a tough run, especially for those in construction more recently. I hope you are getting through the shutdown and navigating all the rules and regs around getting people on site as well. But just to kick things off, we've got our dashboard here. We've got our search address bar at the top left-hand side. Lo and behold, we'll be going to an address that many of you may be familiar with, and we'll be attending to that address. So just a few very quick things to just bring to your attention. We now showcase a bit of the context of this site. So you can see here we're showing some of the trees around. That's the same with services and other points of interest external to the actual block as well. So now you're able to get that sort of next door tree and hover over it, or see the next door sewer line or services or utilities. So we're giving that sort of general context, which is a recent development that we have done now as well. You may notice something new on the sidebar, just below Hi Timothy on the top right-hand corner. Second from the bottom is this little house showing ground floor. Basically, that's giving you a hint as to what's to come in this presentation for the double story. Now, as part of the double story, we are always willing and wanting to upload everyone's plans as we have done in the past, but please be aware with the quantum of clients that we now have, we may not be able to get around to everyone at the same time to upload their second story plans. So that's why in this presentation, I'll also be touching, and when I say get around to it soon. So part of this presentation will be going through how to upload your plan and showing the updates in the upload, which makes that process a lot simpler. So let's start on that before I jump into showing the double story and go through that upload process. I'll also like to quickly touch on, so I don't skim over, we've been promising multi for a while now. It is the focus of our next session. There is some complexities that we underestimated in relation to multi. We've finished double story, and I hope you can see that as one large step going forward, but we definitely will be doing multi for the next one. It's our focus and our main feature that we'll be focusing on for the next month. So let's just go to upload. Now, in order to go to upload, you should simply click Hi Timothy. Our intention is to upload a plan so we can run through how to upload a two-story design. You'll see admin here. Now, if you don't see admin, it's because you haven't been given admin privileges, and this is something that you might have to sort of speak to your business about. Brilliant. So we've got a quick question from Jane in relation to trees and how to show those. While we've loaded up some 22 million trees, the trees aren't covering all areas. We're rolling that out. So what I'll do, Jane, is I'll send you an email after this and give you an update as to when we'll be covering that area that you're specifying. And as always in these demos and sessions, guys, feel free to always jump in and ask questions as I go along. So if we click on admin, we're in our admin panel. We can go to design catalog. This is where our design catalog is, and we can click on houses. Now, everyone, please remember that I'm recording the session, so I'll be putting this up on YouTube. It's also being shown live on Facebook, and you'll be able to sort of replay this to get a better understanding on how this is done. So let's just start with the three dots at the top, where we can now pick Add Item. Now, when you click Add Item, it's going to ask you to add in a file, which we now can do. So, and the nice thing is the files that you can select are PDFs and image files. So in this case, we'll be selecting a PDF. Now, I've taken the liberty of getting a PDF from a random client from our list, and this is not an endorsement or anything like that. It's just to use a real life example of an upload. So I've selected a file. Now, the file that I've selected is quite large, so it's going to take a few seconds to upload. It's a PDF of some 20-something pages, but I just wanted to also touch on how you can flick through these pages and select the page necessary for the floor plan as well. So all I've done now is I've selected that PDF and I'm letting it sort of upload in a few seconds. Now, you may notice a few things that's happened straight away. For those of you that have come into this upload previously, you'll notice on the top, you've got a ground level, a second level. You've also got a zoom panel on the bottom left-hand side just to get that precision. And on the bottom, you've got these tabs, these page numberings that you can start flicking through the pages and pick the appropriate page. So let's go to a design that will fit my beloved 78 Hood Street. And here we are, Bridgetown 32, which fits a 12-meter size block. So the nice thing is you're able to use this PDF to now fill in attribute data on the right-hand side. You're able to sort of just make that easier all in the one spot. So let's just start with the actual core functionality, which is to pick the design. So we're on ground floor, we're seeing the design here, and now you're able to zoom in or use the zoom in panel on the bottom left to be able to get that precision. I've got a few questions coming through. So, hi Tim, can I please include in the zone area? Yep, 100% Mark, I'll send through that same email to yourself as well. So if we zoom in, the first task is to crop the design. So basically you can use it in conjunction with the image that you're seeing, the zoom in panel, and click on that. Now, the nice thing is you might notice these green guides, it's keeping you square. And if you click on the screen and drag, you're able to drag across as well, or simply zoom out and then zoom back into where you want to go. So you're able to get that nice precision and click on the edges, and then simply drag and follow the edge around, because the first task is to crop this image from what's around. So you don't want to sort of include the rest of this PDF. So you're able to do that. So let's just go around and crop this image. Whoever's done this in the past, I'm sure you're going to find this a much more pleasurable experience. And I do apologize for those of you that have tried this previously, because it was a bit of a trial by fire. But now we're able to sort of crop around quite easily. And you can see on the last one, it's actually guiding us to that you're finishing that node. So we're able to click on that guy there. And we now know that we've lined up with this as well. So now we've cropped this. You just simply click the scissors on the right here, and then you're able to crop that image. So we've now done a very nice and sharp crop of the floor plan. We have a quick question. Can I direct from my Chief Architect drawing file, or do I need to do it in a PDF? As of this stage from the front end, it'll have to be from PDF. So you have to either take a screenshot of what you're seeing in your current application, like an image, and you can use that, or you can simply print a PDF from within the application. Hope that helps, Mary. So we've done this. Now, the other thing that we would want to do is start maybe just populating a bit of information on the side. So let's just do that. We know that the design name is Bridgetown 32, so we can do that. Maybe we can do that as version 3, because I think I've tested this twice before. And then we've got houses. Now we can click 2-story. These build subtypes, it's a single dwelling. We can still put the price. Let's put 299,000. The area, I know that the area of this one, let's just do this accurately, is 297. So we've got that information there as well. If we go to the attributes tab, again, you can use that PDF. So if you to get all the information. So we know that it's 2 stories. We know that this particular one's 4 bedrooms. We know that it's 2 garages. We know that it's in this particular one, it's 2.5 bathrooms, so it's got a powder room. In this case, we know that the alfresco is 40.4, so I can put 40.4 here. And we know that it's got a study nook, a walk-in robe, an open plan living, doesn't have a foyer. So we've got these attributes here. We go to vital info. So very quickly, we've filled that in. Now, the key update and upgrade in relation to what we're seeing here is definitely the second level tab. So now we can click the second level, and it's showing you the same PDF for you to start working on, and it's leaving you on the same page, which is really great. If you need to upload each floor plan separately, say for example, it's on 2 separate pages, all you have to do is click the upload icon on the right here, and it'll ask you to upload a different file, and it'll replace this current file for the second level. So that's quite nice. So let's just now crop this one in much the same way. So in combination of, you can zoom into whichever level as well. So let's just do that very accurately, zoom up, and then you're able to start going around, and let's just crop this second story. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Definitely for those of you that aren't uploading yourselves, this might be a bit tiresome, but very quickly we'll show you how this looks on the actual plan itself, which we're very excited to do. So very, very simple. We're cropping all these sides. Click on this. And you can always click and drag, which is always a nice touch. So let's finish up here. So again, we've got this crop, and then we pick our scissors on the right. So we've cropped that floor plan. Now what we'll be doing is we can go back to the first one, and we need to provide a scale. So if we provide a scale, we know that the width of this particular property is some 10.67. So we can do the same thing. We click on the edge and go to the other edge and go 10.67. So now we've given it a known measurement, a known scale. We can go to the second level and do the same thing. So we know that the second level is 9.1. So let's just do that. .9. So we've done 9.1 now. So we've now scaled both floor plans. We've cropped both floor plans, and now we can click align levels. And now we can align both levels to be able to place them on top of each other, which is quite nice. I've got a few questions. What if they're a different scale? Okay, Eric, if the two floor plans are different scale, that's why we get you to do the known measurements for both. So then they realign themselves. So if, for instance, you had just a 1 in 200 and 1 in 100 because one of the floor plates was smaller, then they'll rescale to each other like I've just done in this case. So when you click the align levels, you can see. When do you size one dimension? You size one dimension after you crop. So you can crop the ground floor and then scale that one, or you can crop both like I did and go back to each tabs and scale. My screen is quite small, so it's cutting off the little message at the bottom that's giving you the instructions. I've got a quick question. If you can click escape to go back and retract your last node, say you did a mistake, yes, you can. So that's a nice feature. So you don't have to start again. And if you do start again, you can just restart again. So by pressing escape, you just rectify the last node that you did, which is also convenient. So I think I've quickly answered the few questions that's come through. So now what we're at the align levels page. And then basically you'll grab this design and align it to the actual floor plan. So it's as simple as that, to simply align. If I take off this crop feature, this snap feature, we're able to align that over. Now, and you can see that's aligned well. So you see the shadow and you can see the edge and you can see that we've aligned it into place to show the second story. Now, on the right-hand side, there's the magnet, and the magnet helps you sort of snap this into position as well. You can turn that on and off if that's inconvenient, but it helps you just align that hard up against the edges. So I'm happy with that. And now what we can simply do is click save at the top. So let me just double check that I've got the name right. Everything looks to be in order, and then click tick. So now we've got in houses, we should have additional bridge. So we've got bridge 32 version 3. I only did it once before. Now, if we go to the front page and to the map view, we'll now be able to access this actual design. Now, before I do, you can drill down and provide even more attributes to this. So let's just, and I've got a few other questions through the Zoom session or from Facebook. I'll just quickly try to answer those. Does this work for split level homes? Very soon, Mitchell. We'll definitely be including, do you know how you can see the A, B, C, and D of the drop edges? We'll be soon having an EF where you can pre-designate the split on split level designs or also randomly place it. So we're able to sort of do that as well very soon. There was another question which quickly disappeared. So whoever that was, if you want to ask that, you can ask it again. Now here, if we click on the microscopic little 3 dots next to the price, I do apologize, we are wanting to sort of change that, and click edit, you can drill down into additional dimension, attribute information here. So here you can add a range. So let's just call this the 2-story collection, or it could be the lifestyle range or the razzmatazz range or whatever it might be. You can also include where you want to show this design within the quote options. If you're using quote functionality, you can add description. So let's just add a description there, which we've done, which I'll just copy and paste from what I can see on the PDF. So let's just copy that in. And you can even start, let's just bold this first line. Now, you can also do some bullet points. So let's just do that as well. And these are important because it feeds into the flyer as well. So let's just quickly load these in and turn these into bullet points. Fantastic. So all done. Let's see what happens if I click that. Nope. So let's just leave that there. So we've got the description. We can go into attributes and provide even additional attributes than the summary that we did on the first page. We can change the eave, say 450. We can give it a porch area. So let's just add a few more of these details. So no porch, garage, I think from memory was 30. I can be exact, 30.25. The ground floor area is 152, and the first floor is 145. The balcony area was where is it? 7. All right, so we've just added a few more details. There's other attributes you can do, but let's leave that for now. And let's go back to vital info. And then what you can now do is you can even change the front facade. So let's just change the cover image, and let's just select one there. And now we've got our allocated facade. Now let's just click tick, and we're good to go. This might not show, it shows there. So version 3, and now let's just go to the front page and let's see how that looks. So now that we're in the ever popular 78 hood, we can click on designs like we normally do, and then we can search for that design that we've got, say bridge, and then click on, I think it was bridge V3. Now, immediately what you'll find is on the actual floor plan now, it will show a dashed line representing the first floor or the second story. And more importantly, you can even see the setbacks for the second story as well on the actual site. So now let's just go ahead and position that like we typically would. Now, the nice thing here is we're trying to position that. We see that we cannot position that because as soon as we breach and we go in, it will go red. And then if we place it here, the red disappears from the ground floor, but it remains for that second floor. And that's because you'll notice here, the dashed line is representing the second level setback, which we're breaching. So you're able to then try to avoid that, which we can't because its actual design is not fitting. So if we do remove that second story from that area, you can see that it disappears, but we're breaching the ground floor. So we're trying to get this to fit, but we can't. Let's try flipping it. And then we're trying to fit it in this way, which just fits there. So this is the only way that we can do it. And we can't even take advantage of the side setback. So you can start playing around with this and start doing it from this perspective, and we can see that it fits. The nice thing is if you start moving it towards the back, for example, and then start trying to get that to fit in and then move it, you'll see at exactly the point where you'll start breaching the second level in terms of that setback. And now you can see that that setback popped up because we've just breached that second level. So I'm genuinely hoping that you can see this as a a major improvement and a major ability to sort of site with high degree of accuracy while remaining in that can I build kind of way where it's just simple to do. Now I've got a few questions here. Are the provided measurements or wall? Okay, so Mark, I'm assuming you might be from Queensland. If it's the furthest projected point, this kicks in Queensland. So if you're within Queensland, it'll be to the Eave. So do you remember when we uploaded this design, we choose the Eave line, the Eave size? That's because in Queensland, it'll actually show you a dashed line of the Eave. And if I've got time in this webinar, I'll quickly jump to a Queensland address just so you can see that. And then all the measurements are to that Eave. So if you pick 300, it'll be 300 away from the wall. Given that this is examples in New South Wales, it'll go to the wall. So the short answer is it'll work exact for you. We've got another quick question. Does this work? Okay, I've answered that one. So that's all cool. How can we rotate or move the image in a small degree? Okay, so in terms of, if you're trying to move this image, you go to any of the corners and you sort of start rotating it like this, but it's going to want to always snap to the boundaries. So you can't change it, say, to 1 degree or something like that, because it'll just be snapping. If you want the snap to be turned off, on the right-hand side, you just simply click that little magnet with the electricity bolts on the top, and then you'll be able to start shifting this to small degrees like that and start positioning it. But typically you'd want to sort of line that up with a boundary like we are here. Now, the other nice thing in terms of the two-story update that we've done, on the left-hand side, if you click on rules, you'll notice that we've now got ground floor and first floor. So it's telling you what you need to be and what the breach is. So in a very similar way as the single story, now you can see where you're breaching the top, the bottom, everything like that. So again, you've got full understanding of exactly what's happening and where you're compliant and where you're not. Brilliant. So the other thing that you're able to do, you may notice on the right-hand side, we have that little ground floor, this little new house icon. That's because you're able to actually switch to show the upper floor level. So it'll shade out the ground floor so you can still see where that's located, but you're now able to show clients and how that upper floor looks like, which I think it's a nice feature. Typically, I think we're, from our side, like I always said, we're very biased. We love the app, but I think this is pretty cool. And I genuinely hope that you guys think so as well, because now you can start zooming in, seeing the second floor, and then show the ground floor and start really working with a client and showing them everything on how their build looks on the block of land in an easy, intuitive way. So I really hope that is well received. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for the the words, the kind words. We're all terribly excited about this point. I think we won't be as excited as when we release multi, I'll tell you that, but I'm sure that second story, it's the first time anyone has seen the ability to see it, to do two-story in this easy way. So just to very quickly recap, we've done an upload. The functionality of upload's a lot easier. It snaps to 90 degrees. You're able to reverse our incorrect node by pressing escape. You're able to add the attributes. Now, what happens when you want to sort of generate, say, a flyer? Now that it's two-story. So let's just see how that looks. We've clicked this design. We click on, say, flyer, and site plan, CAD files, they all work in exactly the same way. But if you click flyer, click order, agree to T's and C's and go check out. Like always, we can generate this flyer, and let's see how that looks. While that's generating, I've got another quick question. Is the second story setback in rules on an assumed average roof line to the ground level height? Jane from GJ. Well, Jane, first of all, thank you for your patience. I think you were probably one of the first people to ever really articulate the need for second story, and I apologize, time flies, it has been a while. in answer to your question, yes, right now it's taking an average because we are working on the actual roof ridge as well. So it's not going to take into account if it's a flat roof or a pitched roof, or if it's 15.5 degrees or 18 degrees. It's still not exactly there. But I hope you can see that this is a tremendous leap forward to getting something hyper accurate. We've already got the ground levels, which everyone should know already by clicking the contour button and showing that. So it's not too far a jump for us to finish the last bit. So we've gone land, contours, ground floor, first floor, and now we're just going to be able to automate that roof design as well to complete the entire build. So hopefully that answers that question. Now we've generated this flyer, so let's have a look at how that looks. So I click on flyer, click download. And then we've got our flyer. And this is how it looks out of the box with the information that I've put. So it's going to be branded and stylized, obviously in your company colors. It's got the facade that we've picked. It's got those attributes that we've entered. It's got the design name, the range, the price, the address, the description, the bullet points that we've added, the dimension box, the sales consultant's details at the bottom there. And also we are working, which we'll release this today, to show these floor plans larger, but the resolution is there. So we'll have larger floor plans. We'll be tweaking a few things like the size of the summary of the dimension boxes, but I hope you can appreciate that we've just doing it live in front of everyone. That's a pretty cool outcome. And again, obviously you can change your colors and etc. But we stuck to the Acme Corp branding. So jumping back, we've got a few other questions. Fantastic. Yep. Brilliant. Yes, thanks, Jane. And I do appreciate the that you've been waiting a while for this second story. So I'm glad you're liking it so far. So to recap, we've uploaded a design, we've set attributes. Those attributes is what's feeding into those filters as well, guys. So if you're playing around with these filters and they're not working, it's because there's no attributes behind them. So you can add those attributes, and just so you can know for yourselves or let the administrator know, in those attributes, you don't have to go design by design. If you go back to admin and you go to design catalog, you can actually export all the attributes in bulk, update it on a spreadsheet and re-import those attributes in bulk. So you don't even have to go one by one. You can sort of edit those. And as always, we're happy to help you upload these. We'll never charge for that service. But realistically speaking, if every single one of our clients asked us to do all their designs today, aside from having a mild heart attack, it's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to have to work through that. And that's why in this session, I've gone through how to upload. If anyone needs a one-on-one session to be able to help you upload for yourself, we're happy to do that again. But I hope this session showed you how easy it is and how the outcome can be quite nice. So we've done that. Now, the next thing I want to be able to show in this presentation is the ability to just to show that greenfield housing code as well, which is particularly in New South Wales. But even for those of you that are in Queensland or in other states around Australia, or even overseas in the US, the benefit of talking about this feature is just to showing you how specific we can get things. So if there is a specific region or a specific area that has a specific code or rule override, Cano Build can handle that as well. So if there's one that we're missing specific to your area, please let us know and we can get it done in much the same way as what I'm going to show you now. So let's just jump to an address. My heart is aching because I'll have to go away from 78 Hood Street and show a different address. So let's just go to one in Kellyville, so we can show both in these precincts, so the greenfield housing area, and outside, and you can be able to see how that looks. Before I do, I just wanted to very quickly reinforce. Oh, actually, I can just go straight to the address. So here, if I've got a few questions here as well. Sorry, one last question. Can we go back to them now and add the, okay, so Jane, good question. The question was, can we go back to our current designs and simply add the second story? As of yet, no, and I'm really sorry for this. We are working, and we believe in the next week or 2 weeks, we'll be able to edit previous one, edit the designs, but not the previous ones. We won't be able to do it. It's just not set up for 2-story. So if you want a 2-story design, you will essentially have to re-upload both the ground floor and the first floor and its attributes. So I'm really so sorry for that. And it's one of the reasons why I started this session by simply reiterating that it might take us some time as well to upload the amount of plans. We've got literally tens of thousands to do. So the team is incredibly excited to be able to do that job, I can tell you that. So here we've got that address that we've come to. It's in Bowman Hills. Now, what you can see, again, we can see the side, rear setbacks in terms of the positioning. And I think my light just turned off because I was not moving enough. So we've got this floor plan. We can see the front, side, and rear setbacks. Now, the nice, and then if you breach this rear setback, this is another 2-story design I've done. You can see how that works there as well, which is quite nice. But the main point of coming to this address is twofold. One, you can see those surrounding easements, those sewer lines, the zone of influence specific to this block. So it gives you that context in much the same way as the trees did in 78 Good Street. So now if we click on rules, what we'll be able to see very clearly is, like I'll just run through. This is part 3A of the CDC, the housing code. And basically it just shows you that the setbacks are as per normal. Everything seems to be as per any other block. But if we cross this, if I go to aerial view, so here we can see that in terms of the rules, everything seems to be as per normal. But if I go to the next address, which is over this creek, which is where the housing code kicks in. So I just wanted to sort of show that we're on the left-hand side of the creek, and then I'm going to jump to an address over here just to show you the difference. So then that sort of comes in. So even in terms of these setbacks, the front setback is a calculated 5.29. And then you're able to all sort of show where it changes with a different area. So let's just go to that new address. 50 miles Crescent. So let's jump there. Brilliant. So if we go 50 Mile Crescent, if I zoom up, you can see I'm on the other side of that creek, just to reinforce the point. Now let's just pick a design. Let's go designs. I can't help myself. I'll go to my second favorite plan, which is Bondi. And while that's loading, I've got a quick question. For the fly, can the flip version be printed? We should be, right now, the answer is no, it's not done where you flip and on the flyer it shows it's flipped. But it's something we can do. So like I'll jot this down, Kim, and I'll get back to you with an ETA of when that's possible. But that shouldn't be too hard for us to do. So here we've placed the design. Again, you can see that context of the sewer lines around, which is quite nice. And then we position this build here. Now, if we go to the rules, we're on part 3C again, but you see a new rule here, lot side length. So it's making sure that you're compliant with the minimum lot side length. And then your front setback is a 4.5 meters. So now you've got the comfort of no matter which address that you're placing, it is applying exactly the right setback all the time. And it's even checking that lot side width, which realistically it's mostly 25 meters, but I'm sure everyone here has hit into a corner block, which might not comply, or some oddity infill kind of block. that sort of taps out of that ability because of that rule. So we've done that as well. So I just wanted to sort of touch on that in particular, just to give you an idea of how specific and how detailed can our build can be without introducing any additional complexity. So again, very happy with that. While I'm there, I might just quickly jump to a Queensland address, purely just to give those of you in Queensland that view that it is the furthest projected point. So let's just quickly do that, and I'll jump around again as well. So let me just pick an address. 1 second, guys. And like always, feel free to ask any random questions, even if it's something not to do with something I'm doing in this session. So here we're in Queensland. So we've got this site here. If I pick my trusty 4-bed 2-bath, and for those of you in New South Wales looking at this, yes, Queensland's ahead of us in the amount of services that it shows. So unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. So if we go here and click on rules and switch to the QDC and zoom in, you can actually see that these projected points are the furthest, and then that's that Eaves. So it is detailed in that respect. So hopefully that answers the previous question and shows the in real life, and also gives those of you from other parts of the country to see how things look for others. But it works in exactly the same way, irrespective of what jurisdiction you're in. Are setbacks running for New Zealand sites? Yes, they should be, Phil. If they're not in your specific area, I'll definitely want to sort of touch base with you straight after this. So I'll definitely reach out, Phil, and make sure that it is. But the answer is it should be. It should be. But given your question, I'm assuming it's not. So let's touch base straight after this. So hopefully that gives you that context. The other things that I wanted to run through in today's session, and again, I hope I'm not scattergunning too much. These sessions are meant to be a little bit free-flowing, and in order to give everyone the ability to ask whichever question they want. Can eaves be added to upper and lower floors? Mark, good question. Again, the answer right now is no, but it's something that we have to definitely do. So I'll get back to you in terms of the ETA for that. But again, it shouldn't be too much of a task for us, given that if we can do the eaves for the ground floor, we definitely can do the eaves for the top floor now that we've got 2-story. What was the automatic placement locating the house to setback and side setback? Okay, so here, if we move this anywhere close to a setback, it'll automatically snap, and that's done via this magnet tool here. You can turn that on and off, and then that's what is dictating the actual snap. So that's what's snapping it to that boundary line. So particularly on, and then if you turn that off, you can sort of start rotating and not get snapped. A quick tip just to save anyone from going slowly insane: if the block is really small, you can use snap, but just snap it once and then just turn it off, because given that if there's a very narrow block, it'll just keep trying to snap left to right and front. So it's snapping to whichever is the closest boundary. So if I say, for example, I'll put this in the center here and it's on angle and I move it towards the front, it'll try to snap to that front. If I move it back and then move it again and then move to the side, or snap to the side. So it works tremendously intuitively, but on small lots, it might be a little bit frustrating. So you can turn that off by the magnet on the right-hand side, just below the square tool and just above the new 2-story tool, and turning that on and off will help you do that. The snap feature is also on the upload. So when you're aligning the 2 levels, you can turn snap on and off, because they'll try to help you snap to the ground floor to make sure everything's nice and level. So, and you can see how quickly I did that. It's pretty easy now, the upload process. Got another question from Ellie. Just wanted to find out how the CDC approval process works in the cart section. Does Can I Build send someone to the location to do the inspection? Yep. another sort of good question. So I'll go to that and quickly show. So the question, guys, was, in some of these items in the cart, how do they actually work, and specifically the CDC approval process. So if we go to cart and go down and start looking at the CDC approval, which I'm imagining you're a pool business. So let's just add a pool. Let's just filter down to pools, because the items in that catalog is dictated by what build type you have as well. So let's just go to cart and then scroll down. So CDC approval. So here we've got CDC approval. Yes, someone will come out to site and actually do those inspections. So that CDC approval process does include that. If you click on it, it'll go through what's there and what the ETA and what the cost is. So unfortunately, Cano Build, as advanced as it still hasn't perfected the ability to send out a drone and do your CDCs for you. But it's definitely someone goes out, someone gives assesses that within 7 days and gives you the approval. The nice thing, obviously, is with these, like any of the items in the cart, you can add your own margin, you can add your own items, and you can even associate these items with your own consultants. And as always, if you did purchase one of these items, you can connect it to a payment gateway where you can enter in the credit card details of the actual client, as you can see here, and transact that. And via Stripe, which you can see the little icon at the bottom there, those funds will go directly to your account as opposed to Cano Build. So essentially, you're using this as a credit card facility to easily show a client, this is how your build looks, and this is your next step. In order to So if there's any questions anyone has, or including yourself, Ellie, in terms of how these actually work, feel free to reach out to us and we're able to have a sort of chat. So even if you do, say, a peg out survey or anything like that, these are people going out to site and being able to do that. And if you add the client details, which can be found just below 78 Hood Street address name, and say you type in Jim, because again, anyone that's done a demo with me knows that I'm not creative with fake names, and you apply Jim's details there. When you do order that consultant will be able to contact the client just to give heads up that they're going on a Wednesday to do it. And then when they finish the work, the document comes back through the system, and then it'll appear in the docs. So it's quite simple and quite easy. So I hope you take advantage of that. And if you've got any other further questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll send you an email myself following from this if you need to chat more. So we've jumped on that. If anyone else has any other questions in relation to the cart, feel free to ask. The other points that I wanted to raise in this webinar, let me just scroll up because I've got the memory of a goldfish. So we've spoken about double story. We've explained how to upload. We've also touched on the Greenfield housing code. The other thing that I wanted to sort of touch base on, or else Jim Harris would shoot me for not mentioning every turn, is the number of estates that we have on the system. So like always, you can search for a new estate by typing in the name and scrolling down and seeing that. You can search by lot or estate name, or you can simply click show estates and you can show all the developments. If anyone has spoken to Jim, you'll know that he just loves seeing that number keep on increasing. So we've got 640 something estates. And then if you zoom in, you'll be able to see each one of these pins actually represents a new estate. Not a new estate, an estate that we have on the system, which no platform on the planet comes close with the amount that we've got. And the nice thing is, if you click on it, you see the entire estate as a whole. So I'm hoping that everyone knows that that functionality is there and ready for you to sort of use. Whether you're a pool builder and you're looking to build a pool in the back of a house that's the land has still yet to be registered, you can now start really getting these relationships with home builders to sort of forge partnerships in that way, or vice versa, home builders that just don't want to get into the pool business game, they can partner and tell the client, look, I suggest you speak with these guys and show the pool and show how it all works, and everyone can be working on the same page, which is really nice as well. So there's another quick question from Mark. Can the cut line be shown on the floor plan? Yes. We're just to let everyone know, and I'll load this screen up just so I can sort of talk through it again. But before I do that, I'm going to load up the roadmap so everyone can be reminded as to what's coming up next. But one of the key things is auto site cost and the ability to know what the cut and fill actually is. So if you go to admin right now and you go to construction, you'll notice that we can already start doing things like max cut, max fill, automatically 50-50 cut and fill, and things like that. Building offsets, so no one cuts sharp on the hard press against the brickwork of the house, nor does a pool business just literally cut out the volume of the pool and let the surrounding areas be sloped. So you've got your building pad offsets. For those of you that, our clients that might be on today, that's doing prefab and modular and raised pier construction, you can even include max height and max ground clearance for the plans that you drop on as well. So all of these will feed into the ability to automatically calculate the import and export of fill and the cost of drop edges, and be able to factor that into a costing as well for you guys. Just to reinforce that point, let me just quickly load in my roadmap. And if anyone's looking at my video screen, I'm not waving into the distance. I'm just trying to turn the light back on. Technology, yeah, guys. Sometimes it drives you insane. But but not all times. So let me just do a new share of my screen. So here we've got the roadmap. Starting from top to bottom, we've done snap to boundary, we've done the payment gateway, which is what I just showed in that cart functionality. We're aiming at 500 estates, and this is probably in July. This is a probably nice point to make to show you how many estates we're actually loading day to day. So very shortly we'll hit 1,000 and we'll surpass 1,000 very quickly. So we are loading in these estates faster and faster to give every single client the opportunity to search any address anywhere. We've got the web widget, which if I have time, I'll sort of jump and show that again, but that's a lightweight. We've got the second story. We did miss that deadline. You know, don't hate us too much for that, but it's there. The multi's not in this list, only because of the huge complexity behind it, but we're on the home stretch and we are confident that for next month's webinar of the Facket Hour, we'll be able to go through and do multi, which I'm sure a lot of people are very keen to see happen. But the one that I wanted to sort of talk about is this auto site cost, and this is where you'll be able to see that cut line. So in this little image here, you can see the blue as fill, the red as cut, and then that white area is that on grade. So you'll not only just see a line, you'll see that area where there's no cut at all. So it'll reflect exactly what's happening on site, which will give you a really true depiction as to what's going on. So hopefully that helps, and that gives you an insight as to what's coming as well. So let me just quickly share back. Sorry for forcing everyone to see my face again. Let me just quickly jump back. So, okay, so let me just quickly jump back. So yeah, and then these are the attributes that feed into that ability to make sure that you're not doing something that as a business you don't want to do. So that's quite good. We jump back here. Now we show the estates. We've got a few other questions. Does the development need to have titles before we can view it? No, that's the whole beauty of all these developments on this on our system. If you zoom in here, you can see the date of the photo, which is on the bottom left-hand side, 12th of the 8th. You can see here that there's no roads. These blocks are definitely not titled. So these are all unregistered blocks of land that you can still click, drill down, and start siting on like any other block. And that's the beauty of it. And then on the left-hand side, you can see this one's bushfire affected. You've got your setbacks, and then you can start generating your flyers, your site plans, and working everything from that perspective. The other thing that we've been promising for a while, which is coming very soon, is the ability to show a lot of detail. So if I drop to development in Victoria for those Victorian clients, Mason Quarter, you can see here when I zoom in the level of detail, and this is one from Cedarwoods developments. And you can see here you've got crossovers. If I switch to the architectural view, you can see drainage lines, easements, stormwater, the whole line. You can hover over and see what each of these are and what they, how they affect the block. Another one to that level is Waterton Park from our partners at Johnson Property Group. And if I jump onto that one, you can see there's two sections, there's development, so you can see both here. And if I zoom in, you'll be able to see a similar level of detail. The only difference in this particular development is you can hover over the blocks and see which ones sold, which ones are on hold by their color coding. And that's going to be more and more. That probably leads into the web widget, because you can even put a lightweight version of Can Build embedded on your websites, on your landing pages, and show the same information we're showing here in a much more simplistic way to allow your clients to self-serve and start playing around with your designs. So if I go to one that's live right now, in terms of this web widget, just to show you, and our previous webinar was all about the web widget, so feel free to log into YouTube and have a look at that. And I'll remind everyone, all our videos are on YouTube. It's a really good resource for you to go back and have a look. But this is a granny flat company. It's got this web widget, and then you're able to sort of drill down and start looking at those same developments in a similar way, and then pick a design and then only showcase your designs and then register, and this acts as a nice lead gen for you to start engaging with your customers in a really exciting way as well. So, and then if you put in the details and sign in, it plays exactly the same way as any other, as the sales application does. It drills in, you've picked this lot, and then you start picking a design and going from there and doing that whole game and picking a floor plan and start seeing what the setbacks are, what needs to be done. And you can click a flyer, which will email a flyer. If I click that, it'll ask to verify the email, and then that acts as a reinforcement to that lead gen as well. So, oh geez, I'm conscious of time, but if anyone's got any other questions, shoot them out. I'm happy to stay behind a few more minutes just to go through those. And we've had another question from Mark. Will bow flood notification link back to source document? Not as of yet, Mark. This might be something that we start implementing in the information button. So if you click any of these items, will drill down to a further explanation, and there we'll start putting in links. But I think I've touched on most of the things that I wanted to touch on in this webinar. I just want to sort of remind anyone, if you're happy with using Can I Build and you like what we're doing and these sessions, please remember to either give us a review on Google or a review on Facebook, or give us a thumbs up on Facebook. It does help. It does sort of give the team that sort of turbo boost to know what we're doing is well received and we're on the right track. But as always, guys, it's really fun to do these. I hope everyone's keeping safe. I hope everyone's not going too crazy in the shutdowns wherever you are in the world. But thanks, David, for that. I'm glad you liked it. Paul as well. But team, get out there, keep selling. Hopefully this makes it a little bit easier. And as always, feel free to email support@canibuild.com with any suggestions, anything that you're looking for the application to do in the future. Eric, thanks for that. Christy as well. Joe, really appreciate the words. Really good. And please remember this session every month on the first Thursday at 11 o'clock. We record it. If you miss it, But I'm always glad to see how many companies are jumping on. This time was just over 50, which is fantastic. And please, keep in touch and always feel free to reach out. So everyone, thanks again. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Check us out on YouTube. And good luck with double stories, and happy selling and keep safe. Take care, team. There was another quick question. Sorry, there was a quick question. Can we change what area of the home is affected by the setback, i.e. garages in Victoria? Good question. This last question was more got to do with what happens if the setback doesn't apply to all parts of the build. This is something that we're working on, as well as articulation zones like balconies and things like that. But that's why we're very careful with the language we use in the planning rules section. So you'll notice that whenever there's a breach, say that garage, which you can do zero setback in some jurisdictions, it will say manual check required as opposed to declined or not possible. So in the interim, this is parts that you can verbalize to your client and say, look, these are the overall setbacks, but in relation to the garage, it doesn't apply because I know this area and this area allows you to do that. But rest assured, over the next coming weeks, these type of things, as well as balconies and these kind of articulation points, they'll be able to breach those setbacks without instigating a breach in the rule set. So that question was by Anonymous. But hopefully Anonymous was stuck around, and I apologize if I didn't get to that question and I missed it. So again, that was the last point. If there's no other questions, keep safe, everyone, and take care. See you later.